Yes, good afternoon once more. My name is Teacher Leonard from Bible Academy, and today I'm going to take you through a science topic for grade 7. But before we continue, always remember to subscribe by pressing the underneath button so that I can upload more videos for you. Fine. Let's just move on. Our topic today is on matter. Now, under the subtopic materials and the structure. To start with, what is matter? Everything in this universe is what constitutes matter. And matter is made up of very, very small particles. Now I can give maybe the particle models. Now what are these particles we are talking of? The three states of matter that are known are either solid, liquid, or in gaseous form. In regard to the particles model, we go by what we call the solids. For solids, we find that the particles, they are very, very close to each other. They have what we call a regular pattern, very closely packed. Closely packed in a very fixed position. They actually just vibrate in a very fixed positions. Normally say they just simply vibrate in a fixed positions. But the nature of the energy is a bit raw. When you go to liquids, for liquids, you find these particles, as I've said, these are the smallest particles that make up what you call the matter, or substance that make up the matter. And I've already said matter exists in three forms: solids, liquids, and gases. You find in liquids, the particles are a bit close but apart. There are gaps in between them, those particles, whereby we normally say they are random. When you go to gases, for gases, they are very much random and very far much apart from each other, and they are known to collide with each other and even the walls of the container. But if in terms of energy, solids have low energy, medium energy, and gases, particles have a very higher energy because they are able to move freely. But the far that you find they are very far apart. Fine. When we talk about these particles, what are they? What are all these particles we are talking of? These are normally constitute the matter. These particles are what we call atoms. What we call atoms. And I normally say atoms are the building blocks of matter in this universe. They're the smallest particles of an element. Smallest particle of an element. The smallest particles of an element are called atoms. When it is single, it's an atom. When they are many, they are plural, we normally say the atoms. So they are the smallest particles of an element. So you find one element has millions of these atoms. Fine. Then what is an element? An element, I've said, is a substance that made up of very many particles, made up of only one type of atoms. Made up of one type of atom, because as we move on, we are going to run they also what you call the compounds. We also have what you call a compound. A compound has more than one type of atoms, different types of atoms that are chemically bonded together, chemically bonded. This one is like they are joint, chemically joint. Talk of their joint together. So they constitute what we call a compound. So what is an element? As I've said, atoms. We talk of an element, something like you may say something like sodium. Sodium is an element. Iron is an element. But the fact that there are millions of these atoms which are actually the same, it are similar, one type. Compounds. A very good example like water. Water is a compound made up of hydrogen and oxygen, chemical combined. We can talk of a gas, like carbon dioxide. Fine. Then where do these elements exist? You normally find they are normally placed within what you call the periodic table. This is what you call the periodic table, which is actually organization of elements based on their properties. So our elements exist in what you call the periodic table. It's a table of all the elements in this world. Now, mostly they are organized in regard to their properties. So there is where the periodic table is normally has what you call it has groups, and there is also periods. These are what you call the vertical columns. Vertical columns. They run up and down, and there are 8 of them, and they are normally designated or normally named as per the Roman numbers, apart from the last one, which is known as group O. So they are all the way from group 1 up to the last one, which is group O, which is the 8th one. But that one you don't give it the Roman number 8, but you normally call it O. Then we have what you call the periods. Periods are vertical rows. I mean, there is what you call these are actually vertical. Then you have the periods. Periods constitute what you call horizontal columns or rows for our case. Call them, let's call the rows. Horizontal rows that run across. So we find elements within the same groups have similar properties. But when it comes to the periods constitute both metals and even nonmetals. Fine. So you find within the periodic table, on the left side of the periodic table, that is the groups 1, you have groups 2, and even groups 3, and some other things we call them transition element, transition metals are normally classified as metals. Now we find them on the left side of the periodic table. Then from there we have groups 5, we have group 6, group 7, and group O. You normally find mostly on the right side, and they are non-metals. Then how do you normally denote the group? The group is normally given by the number of what you call the electrons within the last energy levels. If it has 2 of them, normally say it is in group 2. There are 3 of them, group 3. Then in between group 2 and group 3, we have what you call the transition metals. Then when it comes to group 4 constitutes both metals and non-metals. So we normally say it's like the boundary of the intermediary between metals and non-metals. It has both metals and non-metals, whereby you find metals are mostly, you normally find that metals are mostly found whereby on top, non-metals mostly down. So it has both metals and non-metals for group 4. Fine. Then there's what you call the chemical formula. The chemical formula is what you normally give each and every element, and every element is normally given a formula. And the first, some of them have maybe a SIGO formula, like carbon. I talk of oxygen. But if others have 2 of them, like sodium. which is sodium, or even calcium. So in case it has two, the first one is always a capital, then the other one is for the lowercase. Then I think we come to the end of our topic, but before I stop, can you kindly contact us through the following, Five-Year Academy, through the following address, as I write them below, Five-Year Academy. Then you can get in touch to us through the email, Five-Year Academy School @gmail.com. Or via the cell number, our phone, that is 07500 for online and physical classes, for both online and physical classes, for IGCSE, GCSE, both the British system, have for both the Cambridge and even the others. So normally have classes for all the classes from year 1 up to year 9, both online and even physical. Yes, but kindly remember also to subscribe and like for more videos. Yes, let's meet next time. Thank you very much.